going to look at Unit 2, Objective 1, Guided Notes number 2. The first problem is a review problem, so if you would please put the video on pause and try the review problem, and start the video again when you're ready to check your answers. Welcome back. Here is the answers to the first problem. Take a second and check your answers. Remember that this is a line of best fit, so your line could be a little bit different than my line. Excellent. We are going to continue by reviewing the focus. The first part of our focus is finding the slope given 2 points. Remember, this is done by the change in y over the change in x, or the difference of your y values over the difference of your x values. So I'm going to take the difference of my y values, 3 minus 1, and then over the difference of my x values, 2 minus 7, and I have 2 over negative 5. That means my slope is negative 2/5. You try number 4. Put the tape on pause, and when you're ready, replay the video. Welcome back. Change in y over change in x, negative 6 over 0. It's impossible to divide by 0, so we say this has an undefined slope. Turn the page. This next problem is going to talk about an application involved with slope. Given the point 6, 7, let's first plot the point 6, 7. Go ahead and do that. X is 6 and y is 7. I'm going to label that point A. We want to reflect this point over the x-axis. Remember, the x-axis is your horizontal axis. So the x value is going to stay the same, but it has to go 7 units down over the x-axis. And we're going to label that point B. The new coordinates for point B would be 6, negative 7. What is the slope of line AB? This is a vertical line. Go ahead and write down an answer. You are correct if you wrote an answer of undefined. Great. Now we're going to reflect point B over the y-axis. The y-axis is the vertical axis. So the y value of negative 7 is going to stay the same, but we need to reflect over. So if I'm 6 units this way, I need to go 6 units this way, to the left. That is point C. The coordinates of point C are going to be negative 6, negative 7. Take a second and write the slope of line BC. If you wrote 0 slope, you are correct. Now we want to find the slope of line AC. Remember, that is our change in y over change in x. To go from point C to point A, I had to go up 7 plus another 7. So I went up 14. And then I have to go over 6 plus another 6, 12. And I need to simplify this to 7 over 6. My slope is 7 over 6 from A to C. That is a positive slope. Now we're going to identify the slope from the given equation. The easiest way to do this is to use slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b, because we know that slope is the number in front of x. For each of these problems, you want to make sure that y is by itself. In problem number 6, y is by itself. So I can locate the slope right away. The slope is 15. In problem number 7, y is not by itself. So our first step is to get y by itself. I'm going to do that by subtracting 2x from both sides. And finally dividing every term by 5. When that is finished, I can now see that the number in front of x is negative 2/5. So my slope is negative 2/5. In number 8, this is point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. If you recognize that right away, you can see that m is negative 3. If you did not recognize that right away, you could distribute and get this back into slope-intercept form. If you do that, then you can see your slope is negative 3. Put the video on pause and try 9, 10, and 11 on your own. When you're done, hit play and continue. Welcome back. For problem number 9, you should have divided everything by 2. When you do that, this is your result, and you can see that you have a slope of negative 5/2. Problem number 10 may have caused you a little bit of trouble because it does not fit the mold of y equals mx plus b. What type of line is x equals 8? Say it out loud. You're correct if you said this is a vertical line. And if you remember, vertical lines and their slopes are undefined. So this slope is undefined. In problem 11, you had to get y by itself. I am going through the steps right now. First, I subtracted 2x from both sides. Now I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. And when I do that and I make sure that I simplify, I can see that my slope is a positive 1. Excellent. Word problem. My bank account balance is represented by this equation, where x is the number of weeks since my child was born. How much is my bank account losing per week? Well, if x represents the number of weeks, you can see that I started with $12,000, and every week I am losing $160. So I am losing $160 per week. What is my balance after a year? Well, I know that 1 year is equal to 52 weeks. So I can say that my balance is $12,000 minus 160 times 52 weeks. Go ahead and do that calculation now. You should have come up with $3,680. The last question is a secondary question. What we're going to do first is we're going to find the slope of the equation. Change in y over change in x. Negative 13 minus negative 8 over 8 minus negative 2. That gives me negative 5 over 10, which is negative 1/2. So I know my slope is negative 1/2. Excellent. Next step, you're going to choose one of the points. It does not matter which one. I'm going to choose the first one. We're going to use the slope that we found in part A and our point, and we're going to use point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I know my slope is negative 1/2, and I know my point is 8, negative 13. The 8 is the x1, and the negative 13 is the y1. So let's go through the equation. Y minus y1, which is negative 13, equals m, negative 1/2, times x minus my x1. Now what I can do is I can use this equation to solve for y and put the equation in slope-intercept form. First, I'm going to simplify these two negatives. Y plus 13 equals negative 1/2, x minus 8. Next, I'm going to distribute the 1/2. Y plus 13 equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. Negative times a negative is a positive. Finally, I'm going to subtract 13. Y equals negative 1/2 x minus 9. And there is my equation of the line. This concludes guided notes number 2.